Chef Linda, Catskill Animal Sanctuary. There's my oven. Today we are going to learn how to make these amazing stuffed baklava dates. These are so easy. These are my new favorite, most favorite treat in the whole world.
Another new favorite.
They're vegan, they're healthy, they're easy, and I'm going to show you how to make them right now. So, these, we start with some nuts. So these are, they're baklava inspired.
Say hi to Stephanie.
Hi Stephanie. These are baklava inspired stuffed dates. And I did these, I was trying to figure out some dessert I could make for a Moroccan cooking class I was teaching recently. And I said, baklava might be a little too challenging. I said, how can I bring all those elements in, the flavors, but do it healthy, vegan of course. And so I came up with this. This is going to be your new favorite. So I have some nuts here. These are walnuts and pistachios. These are found often in Moroccan food, and I am chopping them.
She is making vegan baklava, yes.
Well, no, baklava stuffed dates.
Still, baklava
Yeah,
stuffed dates.
so
Say hi to
we-
Tom
Hi, Tom.
and Tammy.
How are you? Hi, Tammy. So, you could use a food processor to chop, but since I'm only chopping a little bit here, and because I don't want them to get too chopped, I'm going to use my knife. It's so easy. So if you all are in the kitchen, right, and you like to cook, I see people chopping nuts like this sometimes in my classes. Don't do that. The right way to do it is have a chef's knife with a curve, keep your hand on the blade, and all you want to do is rock back and forth. You kind of make a little pivot here and go back and forth across your herbs, your nuts, whatever it is you're chopping.
Say hi to Christy.
Hi,
And
Christy.
CJ.
Hi, CJ. How's everybody today on this August day? Summer's coming to an end.
No.
That's so sad. So we're chopping we're chopping nuts here for our baklava stuffed dates. These are amazing, and if I could tell you, if you've ever had chocolate turtles, if you remember those pre-vegan days, maybe they make vegan ones, I don't know, but they're round little caramel chocolate treats with chocolate and nuts and caramel, and these just are the best vegan way to have a chocolate turtle. They're healthy and easy and fun to make.
Tom said if you put those in the blender, then I can do the blender dance. Betty Ann, hello.
Hi, Betty Ann. Thanks for joining, everybody. I love that Jane Unchained does these lunch break lives and shows so many people just all the variety of wonderful, delicious vegan food that's out there. I mean, there's just so many different ways to do so many different things. My take is different than somebody else's take, that's different from another chef or home cook, and it's just great to share ideas and just inspire people, because being vegan has a lot to do with what we eat, and we are never at a lack of things to eat and enjoy. In fact, there's just not enough time and too much vegan food to eat, in my opinion. So I've chopped up these nuts. I'm going to put a little bit aside here for garnish, and I'm going to put the rest into our bowl here. And this is really simple. So all I've done so far is chop up some nuts. And this is a healthy treat, right? It's a nice, actually, it's a great lunchtime treat as well, because sometimes in the middle of the day, many of us are still working at home, you need something to pick you up. And if you have something with sugar in it, your blood sugar spikes up, and you have that crash. So this is a way to get a healthy, sweet treat, not have your blood sugar spike, because we're using pretty much the whole foods here, and we're not using anything really processed. So it's really kind of a great healthy treat. So I'm going to turn this guy way down here.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz. So I've got nuts in here. I'm going to add almond butter, and what we're doing is making the filling for our stuffed dates. So I'm using a nut butter that is raw and unsalted, but you use whatever you like. I wouldn't use peanut butter, but you could. But use salted, unsalted, whatever you have. Don't let it stop you from making these. Then I'm going to add a little bit of maple syrup. Maple syrup, what we're trying to do is create a filling that kind of sticks together. And so maple syrup is a great sweetener to use. It is minimally processed, it is vegan, and it is delicious.
Would tahini work?
Tahini would absolutely work. Great idea, great idea. And tahini is made from ground sesame seeds. Lots of calcium in tahini, so that's a great thing to have. I'm going to use cinnamon. Cinnamon, lots of spices are used in Moroccan cooking, which is the inspiration for this little snack. I'm going to put a good dose of cinnamon. Cinnamon is actually, it's good for your blood pressure, if I'm not mistaken. Good amount of cinnamon in there.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. And so I'm just going to add in some lemon zest. So zester, lemon. It's good if you know you're going to be zesting by organic lemons, just because that's where all the pesticides reside. But when you zest, all you're doing is, you don't go back and forth a million times. Just go a couple times. I just kind of go a couple times and I work myself around the lemon here. And you don't want to get too deep into the white. You just want to get this yellow part. That's where the essential oils are. That's where the bright lemon flavor is. And it works really nice in here because this is a very simple but rich dessert or treat. So the lemon zest just really cuts through it. I'll save my lemon for something else. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of salt in here, because we have some sweet, right? So this is it. This is our filling. This is so, you could eat this just like this. I wouldn't look twice if you did that. So that's our filling. What we're going to do with our filling now is we're going to use dates, right? So let me get this out of the way. These dates are medjool dates. There's different kinds, but medjool dates seem to be the plump. I just like the size for this particular dessert or snack, and I've cut them in half to take the pit out, right? So there's this white kind of, it's almost like papery, very papery in there. I don't take that out. There's no harm in that. I do take the pit out, but these are succulent and delicious, and because there's fiber, it's a whole food. Because this is a whole food, there's fiber in here, so that helps regulate your blood sugar when you're eating this nice sweet treat. So this is a whole one. Sometimes they have these little stems on the end, and take my knife. And when you cut these, you don't want to cut all the way through.
Betty Ann is asking, what are we making one more time?
Hi,
She joined.
Hi, Betty Ann. We're making baklava stuffed dates today. We're making them 2 ways, and these are really easy. You can choose how you want to make them, but they're easy, they're healthy, and they're vegan, of course. So now we have our dates, right? They're like little, pockets. We don't want to cut all the way through. And what we're going to do is we made a filling, Betty Ann, with nuts and almond butter and some lemon zest and cinnamon and maple syrup. And we have this nice filling here, and I'm going to stuff it into my dates. So you want to pack it in so it's nice and firm and it holds the date together. So let me just tell you, you could make these just like this and be done and call it a day. You could put these in your refrigerator and just kind of grab one for dessert, grab one for breakfast, because there's really nothing in here that is that isn't good for you.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. So these can be eaten just as they are, but we're going to take these guys a step further, and we are going to finish them in pastry, and we're going to finish them dipped in chocolate, because really anything dipped in chocolate is pretty darn good, I think. So
Tom said, could she make a tray with that filling?
a tray. Yeah.
Yeah, when it stops raining here, Tom, we can make it.
We are expecting rain, Tom, so I was thinking of you when I heard the weather forecast, as a matter of fact. So I'm just filling these dates. Now, this is a half batch. I usually make about 20 dates, but I made some earlier today just so I could show you the finished product.
Could we drizzle non-dairy chocolate on top?
You absolutely could. You absolutely could. Instead of dipping them in chocolate, if you wanted to just drizzle the chocolate, you could do that. In fact, I drizzled them on the pastry that we're using. to wrap these up. And you know, it's so nice to know that the food that we eat.
Hi Rose, hi Carolyn.
Hey Rose, hi Carolyn. The food that we eat, there's just so many delicious things.
Hi Ann.
This didn't even, I mean, this didn't have to be veganized. Do you understand? Like, people say, well, what do vegans eat? We eat this stuff. It was vegan to begin with, like many of our foods.
Celia, Miguel, Jane.
Hey, everybody. We are making baklava stuffed dates. These are stuffed with chopped nuts, almond butter, maple syrup, some lemon zest. You could even put a little vanilla in if you wanted to. I didn't, but that's another option if you like vanilla. So we've stuffed our dates here. Look at these beautiful, you could eat them just like this. You could drizzle chocolate and put them on top. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna do two different things. And I like this because you can do them very simply, just like this, for yourself. But if you were going to have people over, you're entertaining, you could do them like I'm going to show you, and it makes a really beautiful, dramatic dessert. So, we've got all this out of the way. The first one we're going to do is, I have my oven preheated to 425 degrees, and I'm going to take some puff pastry. Everybody should have a little puff pastry in their freezer. Now mine's getting warm because I just took it out and it's so warm in here.
Betty Ann's making these and taking them to her aunt's house.
Oh, Betty Ann, please make these. These are so good. Like, I can't impress upon you enough how good these are. So I've got puff pastry here. Puff pastry, what is it? Pepperidge Farm is accidentally vegan. So that's a brand you can find in most stores. Usually it comes in 2 sheets with 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. I've already used the 3rd piece to show you what it looks like finished. But what I'm going to do is just roll these out a little bit. When we roll puff pastry, it just helps it from getting too puffy. And what I want to do is be able to fit 3 dates per sheet, per 3rd.
Can you use phyllo?
You could use phyllo, absolutely. People get nervous using phyllo because it's a little delicate, but it's really, if you just set yourself up right, have a damp towel on top of your phyllo, and phyllo is really nice. It's a little bit healthier, right, because it doesn't have a fat in it like the puff pastry sheets. So definitely use phyllo if you like. So I'm going to cut my sheet in half here. Again, this would be in 3rds.
When you bake this in the puff pastry, excuse me, does it soften the date?
It does. It does. It does. We chill the chocolate ones, and we don't chill the ones in the puff pastry, because puff pastry, when it's chilled, isn't that great in my opinion. So I'm going to take a date. Let's take a little guy here, and what I want is 3. I want to be able to do 3 of these. So I'm going to do 1. Let's make sure we cut these relatively equally. Okay, so I have a sheet tray lined with parchment. Parchment is my best friend. Should be yours too.
It's mine too, the dishwasher's best friend.
It makes for easy cleanup and you don't have to oil your trays. And all I'm doing right now is I'm going to take my puff pastry and I'm going to wrap up my date. Just like this. Now my kitchen is very warm right now because I've got water boiling, I've got my oven on, and so this is really soft. If yours is not as soft, you might need a little water to just soften and moisten the edges. So all I'm doing is pinching, and then what I like to do is I just kind of pinch the edges. It looks almost like a little candy, like saltwater taffy. So I'm going to take another one, and you may have to stretch these out a little bit to fit your date, because all my dates are different sizes. And I'm going to roll it up. My filling stays in because we made it so nice. And I pinch the edges, make sure my seams are tight. And let me stretch this guy out a little bit. So it's nice to know also that there are products on the marketplace that are already vegan, that don't use animal products, and we don't have to look hard for them. So this puff pastry is one of them. In fact, if you're gluten-free, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that there's a brand called Shars, which is a gluten-free vegan puff pastry. So look for that. I saw that, as a matter of fact, where did I see it? I saw it somewhere recently near me. So it's not that hard to find. So I'm just gonna do 3 more. I'm gonna wrap them up, and then I've got my oven on, and we're gonna pop them in, and then we're gonna melt our chocolate, and we are gonna do some dipping. And this makes, I just wanted to share this with you, folks. I had somebody in my class, and she made these, and she wrote me afterward, and she said, of all the COVID recipes I did this whole year, she said, these dates changed my life. These were my all-time favorite. So I am not kidding you when I say something so simple can be so delicious. So that's it. So you could make your whole batch like this. Now let's put them on our tray. And I'm not even going to brush them. You could brush them with a little non-dairy milk if you wanted to, but I don't think they need it because we're going to drizzle them with chocolate. So these are going to go into the oven. 425 for about 10 minutes or so. I have a finished batch just in case they're not done by the time we're done. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to dip these dates in chocolate. So we have 2 different ways to enjoy them. These are my favorite, the ones dipped in chocolate. So what I have here,
Of course.
is I'm going to do my version of a double boiler, right? I want to melt vegan chocolate chips. These are dairy-free, easy to find. I think it's easy to find where I am. Vegan, dairy-free chocolate chips. Lots of store brands make them vegan. And so I have a pot of water here. If you take your chocolate chips and you put them in a pot on a hot stove, there's a good chance you might scorch them, which means they will seize up and get hard and burn very quickly, and then you've ruined them and you have to start again. I've done it, I know. I try to cut corners, right? So I'm using my little version of a double boiler here, and I wanted it in something a little bit tall so I could dip my dates. So I'm putting a glass measuring cup in here, and I'm going to put my chocolate chips in here. And these are going to start to melt. And you could put a bowl over your boiling water here, but I didn't have a bowl that was the right size. So we're going to let those, now my water's simmering. So that's really, if you ever see a recipe that says you need a double boiler, it's just boiling water and a vessel in or over it, really. So to that, I'm going to add coconut oil just a little bit because it gives it a little sheen. It just adds to the texture when it's chilled. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons, and mine is, it can be solid because obviously we're melting it here. So I'm going to put my coconut oil. So this coconut oil is refined. So you can see, where is it, refined. So if you don't know, there's refined and there's unrefined. Refined coconut oil has the scent removed, and unrefined has the coconut scent still in the oil. It's subtle, I think. Some people find it very strong. If it doesn't bother you, you could use the unrefined in this recipe because it actually tastes really nice. I just happen to have the refined. So let me get something longer so I don't burn myself here. So my chocolate's melting. And what we're going to, it only takes, once it starts melting, the heat from the chocolate that's melted already starts to heat the rest of the chocolate.
Can you skip the oil, or do you need it?
You could skip the oil. You can actually skip the oil, definitely. It just adds like a little, I don't know, a nice texture to the shell, I feel like. But definitely, if you're doing no oil, skip that. So that, my dog is barking because he can smell the chocolate. No, he can't have any, right? So I'm going to take my dates over here. And I tried this on a wire rack, dipping and putting my dates on a wire rack. Not the best, so I would recommend putting them on parchment, and they peel right off when they're chilled. So we have a parchment lined plate. If you were making more, of course, you'd have a bigger tray or plate there. Now, this is coming together so nicely. So I want to tell you also the Catskill Animal Sanctuary, you turn that down, is located in upstate New York, and we've been around for 20 years. This is our 20th anniversary.
Yay!
And which is not an easy feat to do, to be viable still 20 years. We've rescued thousands and thousands of animals and given them a safe haven, and our goal there, our mission, is to educate people and help them understand that animals want their lives just as much as we do. So we do that through public tours, we do that through live streaming opportunities to meet the animals. We also do it through our vegan cooking program, which is what we're doing here. So we teach classes, I teach them on Zoom, and at some point hopefully we'll teach them in person again. So one of the things we're doing this summer, I'm going to turn this off.
Marco.
One of the things we're doing, hi Michael.
Marco.
Marco. Hello, Marco. One of the things we're doing this summer is we're doing our second annual Goat Games. And Goat Games this year is involving 9 other sanctuaries across the country. And everybody is raising money for sanctuaries and raising awareness and having fun. You can bike, swim, hula hoop, watch Netflix, make stuffed dates to raise money. So if you wanted to donate or go, check out casanctuary.org and check it out. So we have this gorgeous silky melted chocolate here, right? I could just drink that. That is so good.
And she has.
I have. So I'm going to put that over here. And now the way I like to do this, where's my big spoon?
Can you explain quick what Goat Games are again?
Goat Games is it's a fun program. It's a fundraiser for sanctuaries, and you basically pick a team. You could pick from one of 9 sanctuaries on our website, and you pick a team, and you can either run or bike or swim, and basically you're trying to get other people to donate. So ask your friends, donate $5, donate $10. I'm going to run 10 miles. Donate $1 for every mile. Whatever it is, the goal is to get people involved and raise awareness of the important work that sanctuaries do to educate and to save lives. And so it is just a fun fundraiser. It's taking place. Our kickoff event is August 14th on our property, but it's nationwide. All these sanctuaries across the country are participating. So if you wanted to donate, I think it's text Goat Games to 71777, and you can make a donation. And it's just nice to get involved. It's an easy, fun way to participate in something really important. So we have our stuffed dates here, right? Stuffed with nuts, almond butter, lemon zest, a little maple syrup, cinnamon, and a little salt. And I'm going to take this, and I've tried tongs, I've tried a fork. For me, the best way to do it is put it in the chocolate and just roll it around and lift it out. And because our filling is so absolutely perfect, it doesn't slip out. So look at that gorgeousness, right? So I'm going to plop it over here, and this chocolate is enough to do more dates than I have right now because...
Isn't that convenient?
I swear...
Something for dinner will be chocolate covered.
Chocolate covered something. So these would go on our parchment paper, and don't even worry about the little mess when they're chilled. You pick them right off the paper and put them on a beautiful plate. And they look gorgeous. So
Van's okay, Tom. Van is okay.
Van will be having a
He's
chocolate
old,
date
but
or
he's
two.
okay.
And it's just such an easy thing to make. I mean, we've been talking, this is about a half an hour show, right? I've done this 2 different ways. I've talked my way through it. So you could do this much quicker on your own now that you know how to do it. And you can be very happy. And I promise you, if you make this, you will thank me. You will find me. You will find my email address and you will thank me because that's how good these are. Let me move that over. Okay. A little chocolate left for drinking later. And so now we have the nuts that we chopped, and we're just going to garnish a little bit. just so it looks pretty. Because we eat with our eyes, it adds a little visual interest. And these we would pop right in the fridge. They don't take long to chill, and they come out. These are getting a little soft. Oh no, these are still okay. So this is a batch I made earlier today. See? Beautiful. They're getting a little slippery because it's warm in here, but these are amazing. And I'm going to show you how amazing they are because I'm going to eat one.
That's 12 dates, 6 for her and 6 for me.
And these guys, can you show in there? These guys are cooking away, but I'm going to show you the finished product over here.
Does the chocolate harden?
It does. This hardens up perfectly. They're just a little wet because it's very hot in my kitchen. But when you take these out of the fridge, they're perfect. Now these are the finished puff pastry ones.
Look at them.
Gorgeous. All I did literally was I took a spoon of chocolate and I just drizzled it back and forth like that. These I did not chill because I do not like chilled puff pastry. You might not either. And do you see how gorgeous? You could make a beautiful platter with both of these. For your gluten-free friends, you serve this. For your non-gluten-free friends, you serve this. Both of them equally delicious. This, if for the chocoholics. So, I'm going to have to show you how good these are.
Of course you are.
And the recipe will be posted on Jane Unchained. And you'll have the whole recipe there, but I just got to show you. So this is the whole date, right? Can you see that? Oh my God, these are so good. This is like the chocolate turtles that you probably had before you were vegan. Oh my God. The date just blends into the, what are you doing? The date just blends into the chocolate. You taste the nuts, or you get a little bit of the, do you have chocolate on me?
Negative.
You get a little hint of the lemon zest in there. You get the texture from the nut filling, the smooth date, and the chocolate, creamy chocolate on top. They are so delicious. Like they are so, these are perfect actually for Thanksgiving. That was my brilliant thought just at this moment. Perfect for Thanksgiving because after Thanksgiving dinner, sometimes you don't want, you know, a gigantic dessert, but these are earthy, nutty, they bring in the flavors. And so these, dare I say, I'm gonna cut this one. These are the puff pastry ones, just as fantastic. Look at that. Puff pastry, date, filling with nuts and almond butter. Oh my God, so let's try this one.
There we go.
Shut the front door. Those are amazing. These are vegan, made with love. Make these and share them with your friends. Share them to chocolate.
Negative.
Share them with your friends. Share them with your family. Share your vegan food and your love of animals with the people in your circle and in your world because some people just aren't thinking about it. And if you can just share a little bit of that love, you're planting seeds everywhere you go. So check us out at casanctuary.org. I'm teaching Compassionate Cuisine, our tea towel. You can always buy a tea towel too. You can buy our cookbook. Our Compassionate Cuisine cookbook is fantastic. It's full of animal pictures and joy and happiness and delicious recipes. I'm teaching a class in September on cheese. I'm teaching a class on essential vegan sauces in September. I'm also teaching tomorrow seitan ribs. We're making ribs from scratch, barbecue. Oh my God, I've made them like several times so far. They're outstanding. There is nothing vegan food can't do. Better, healthier, more compassionate. So, casanctuary.org. Thank you, Jane Unchained, for all the work you do out there promoting veganism, kindness, and a compassionate world. Thank you. And I'm going to go on Facebook after. I'm going to do a little chat, see if anybody has any other questions. So if you have any other questions that you think of,